In this video, I'm going to share with you a requested tutorial on how to cut this stylish dress. So to start, here is my pattern and I'm going to go ahead to start drafting this from the back pattern. So what I will mark is my shoulder to bust, shoulder to waistline, and then I'm going to mark the blouse length. So go ahead to measure the blouse length where you want it to stop, but whatever you're going to use, make sure it gets towards the hip area because the blouse or the upper part of this dress is almost towards the hip. Now the next step is to mark your shoulder divided by 2, and I'll mark at this point plus ½ inch because this dress you attach a sleeve. I'll come down by 1 inch from this point. So here I'll mark a neckline of 3 by 1 inch. Note this neckline is for the back pattern of this dress, and I'll go ahead to connect. After I'm done connecting, the next step is to connect from the neckline to the shoulder slope. So after I'm done marking that, I'm going to find the chest line, which is my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, and I'll draw a straight line at that point. After I'm done marking that, I'm going to place my ruler and I'm going to mark my shoulder divided by 2. Now after I'm done marking my shoulder divided by 2 plus half on the chest line, what I will now do is to connect this all the way going up to the upper part. Now after measuring, I'm going to divide what I have here into 2 and come out by ½ inch. I'll mark my bust circumference divided by 4. Now I'll connect from this ½ inch all the way up, and from this point I'll connect it to my bust circumference divided by 4. Now after I'm done marking at this point, the next step I'm going to take is to insert my body measurement. So you don't need a dart for this dress because you're making it with a mesh. Now I'll outline this as bust, waist and blouse length, right? Now the next step is to insert my measurement just like I said. I'll mark my bust circumference divided by 4 and just add 1 inch for my sewing allowance. This dress is a mesh and you don't need much sewing allowance. Here I marked my waistline and added my sewing allowance. Here mark your hip circumference divided by 4 plus your sewing allowance at the blouse length. Now place your ruler, connect from here to all the way to the upper part, and connect from here all the way going down to the lower part of this pattern. Now after you're done marking at this point, so from this point I'm going to come up by 1.5 inches and I'm going to go ahead to connect this all the way down this way. Now after I'm done connecting, what I'll now do is to go ahead to cut this out. Remember, for your pattern you're going to cut this out on fold. So after cutting this, I'm going to go ahead to cut out the front, but you can still use this pattern to cut out the front pattern. I'll go ahead and I'll place another pattern paper. Now I'll mark my shoulder to bust, shoulder to waist, and then my blouse length. Now after I'm done marking this, I'm just going to go ahead to place my ruler and draw out a straight line. So after marking this out, we are now going to label it as shoulder to bust, waist and blouse length, which you're going to mark your hip measurement. So I forgot to mark my shoulder to under bust, which I'm going to go ahead to do right now, and I will mark. After marking that, I'll mark my shoulder divided by 2 plus half, come down by 1 inch because this dress has a sleeve. I'll just go ahead and mark out a basic neckline of 3 inches from there, which I will go ahead to connect. The next step is I'll still go ahead to find my chest line, and to find my chest line is my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, and I'll draw a straight line there. Go back and mark your shoulder divided by 2 plus half, and I'm going to place a ruler and connect all the way up. After I'm done connecting, I'm going to measure what I have, divide there into 2 equal parts and come out by ½ inch. Place my tape here and mark my bust circumference divided by 4. Now I'll connect to the midpoint, and from this ½ inch, I'll connect all the way to the chest line. After I'm done marking this, or insert my measurement, I'll mark my bust circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. Mark my under bust circumference divided by 4, add my sewing allowance. then add my waist circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. Here at the blouse length, I'll mark the hip circumference divided by 4 and add the sewing allowance. After that, I'm just going to go ahead to place my ruler starting from the under bust to the bust and from the under bust to the waist, from the waist to the blouse length, and I'll go ahead to connect. Now after I'm done connecting, I'll just blend this out a bit. It's not meant to be too curvy. So the next step I'm going to take is to mark how deep I want the neckline of my dress to be. So I'm using 8 inches. Go ahead to use what is okay, and from that neckline of 3 inches I curved it out this way. Now if you look at this dress at the front part, it's as if it has like the neckline went in a bit, like the neckline of this dress is open, right? So what I'm going to do now is from the center I'll come in by 0.3 inches or 0.5. So from here now I'll mark like 3 inches or 2.5. Then I'll go ahead to connect this all the way down. So from here I'll come up by 1.5 inches and go down by ½ inch here, connect it. So after I'm done connecting this, I'll go ahead to connect the upper part of this pattern this way. So after connecting this, you notice at the front part of this dress there's like a rope at that part. So I'll just go ahead to also cut out a strip of paper and I'll attach there to make it look like there's also a small rope or strap. So if you notice, this dress was made with a mesh, and what you have to do is after cutting out your dress, all you have to do is to join and then weave out the whole, to weave out the body of the dress. So when you cut out, remember to like add ½ inch all the way around because you're going to be weaving it out. You also need to add like a weaving allowance to it. Next, I'm going to go ahead to cut out the sleeve. So first, the sleeve has two sections. One is the flay part and the straight part. So first I'll mark ½ inch at the top, which is the starting point of my sleeve, and I'll draw out a straight line. After I'm done marking that, I'm going to find my sleeve cap height. To find your sleeve cap height is your bust circumference divided by 12 plus 0.5 inches, and I'll go ahead to mark. After I'm done marking, I'm going to draw a straight line at that point. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead to measure round your armhole. Whatever measurement you have round your armhole, divide it by 2. My round armhole measurement is 16 inches divided by 2. I have 8. I marked. Place your ruler from this point all the way to the tip of your pattern. After you're done doing that, place what you have here and you're going to divide this into 2 equal parts this way. So after doing this, I'll go ahead to divide it. Now from this midpoint I have here to the other end of my pattern, I'll fold and mark. From here now I'll come up by ½ inch, and the other side I'll fold into 2 to where my round armhole stops, and I'll mark. Here I'll come down by ½ inch at this point. So after I'm done doing that, I'll connect from here all the way to that first ½ inch and to the midpoint, connect it to the lower ½ inch I have here, and then connect to the armhole. Now after I'm done connecting this, the next step I'll take is to place my tape and mark my shoulder to elbow line. So my shoulder to elbow line is around 11 inches or 10.5 thereabout. Now I will use the lower part to where the sleeve will stop before I'm going to have the little flay sleeve on it. So after you're done marking this, now measure around your elbow divided by 2. So you have to be very careful with your measurement because this dress is a mesh and you have to take accurate measurement. If not, your sleeve will be big. So for your sewing allowance, add ½ inch. Measure around where your sleeve is going to end, then add ½ inch for your sewing allowance. Whatever measurement you have, divide it by 2 and mark, and add ½ inch. You don't need to add much because this is a mesh and it is very stretchy. Now go ahead to connect. After you're done connecting, you go ahead to cut out. So after I'm done cutting this out, we'll now go ahead to cut out the flare part. So for the flare, I'll use a simple method to cut out that part. Also remember to add ½ inch on top, because of this part of this dress you're going to use the ½ inch to join it to the shoulder measurement of your pattern, right? So I'll just go ahead to connect. Now this is what I have for the basic sleeve at the upper part of this dress. Now after I'm done connecting this, where your sleeve will stop here, you need to measure round round the sleeve. Now I'll be cutting this on 180-degree flare. That means I'll fold this into two. So the measurement you have there, add ½ inch for sewing allowance, then divide it by 2. So for mine, what I have is 7 inches divided by 2, I have 3.5, then ½ inch for sewing allowance. So what I have is 4 inches. So this 4 inches, I'll place it in form of a semicircle on this triangle that I folded, and I'll go ahead to draw it out. So after I'm done drawing it out, I'll make sure it's 8 inches. Now place your tape from the tip of the pattern to where you have that measurement. So whatever you have right there, you're going to take it all the way around your pattern. So what I have is about 4.7 inches or thereabout. I'll now take it round. So this way I'll have a more accurate round circle. So from there, measure the length of the flare that you want to add. Like what is there is not that much, it's something very little. So just go ahead to measure what you have there, measure the length that you want, and then add like ½ inch for weaving allowance, because you're going to hem the lower part, and then ½ inch also for joining it back. So I will just go ahead to cut this out. So after cutting out, this is what I have at the sleeve part of this dress.